Fortnite has seen a recent surge in popularity, enjoying some of the success that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has seen with its very own and very similar take on the genre, especially since the game is actually free right now on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, PC, and even Mac. While many Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks will also apply to other Battle Royale games such as PUBG, there's of course enough significant differences to note and to exploit, which will help you last as long as possible. From where to build, how to find treasure chests, and the best ways to stay hidden, here are many of the Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks I put together for you today. So drop a like on the video and be sure to turn on notifications. Click that little bell, whether you're on desktop or mobile, to make sure that you don't miss out on any video uploads or live streams when I go live. I would really appreciate it. No matter what Battle Royale game you're playing, there are a number of best practices you should know about to help you survive. When moving from one location to the other, avoid running out in the open if you can help it. Use the cover of trees, bushes, buildings, cliff tops to help you avoid getting spotted. If you get caught unprepared in someone else's crosshairs, you'll barely last a few seconds. Even if you've reached the safe circle, don't assume every other player is also there, as more will be coming from the outside in. Remember, this is not only to avoid getting shot in the back, but also to your advantage, especially if you can pick advancing players off from the safety of a nearby building. If you actually see enemies or hear gunshots nearby, think before you act. Observe and decide. Carefully weigh the decision whether or not you should approach, as you could easily be outgunned and outnumbered. On the flip side, though, you could also wait to approach at the end of a firefight when all the other combatants are injured. The reward for taking on other players could be valuable weapons and ammo, but it could also mean the end of your run. So, if you're a COD player new to this genre, think. You have to resist the urge of actually shooting just because you see an enemy. Stop, think, and consider what's the best course of action for you to be the last man standing alive. Headphones are almost essential for playing, allowing you to hear players coming towards you, and in Fortnite Battle Royale, the sound of movement feels even louder than most other shooters, giving you ample opportunity to prepare for oncoming adversaries. One thing you have to do is get rid of the COD mentality. It's not how many kills you get, it's who gets the least deaths, who survives last. You see in this encounter here, I'm forced to approach this area because the circle is closing in on me. I do not want to engage him because I don't have the weapons. I have a teammate behind me, but they engage. You have to resist this urge unless you have the tactical advantage. It's better to avoid and be the last to live. Let them come to you. Weapons and resources spawn in buildings and structures just like PUBG and appear more frequently in populated areas. This does not mean you should go there, because they will attract other players doing the exact same thing. Again, you need to weigh the risk-reward of getting better loot while also coming up against more competition. It's always possible to strike a balance, building up the confidence to explore villages as your arsenal grows, or even ignore most buildings entirely. My preference, you don't want to go to any major area. If you dive out the bus and you see a bunch of people like this, turn the other way. You want to be alone when you first start on the ground. Not only that, consider letting on the outskirts that have absolutely no name or markings on them. With a squad of 4, you can securely cover the area and get the loot that's in the vicinity. Weapons and loot are on the outskirts of the map as well. Though they appear less frequently, they're a great way to start your arsenal with low risk. However, other players might have this in mind, so try to find an area as far off the beaten path as possible with no name, just by yourself. And if you're lucky, the actual safe zone could spawn in your little neck of the woods, giving you even extra time to collect a lot of building resources while everyone else kills each other on their way to your neck of the woods where you're laying in wait to pick them off in your fortress. When I first started playing this game, I always wondered, what are these circles for? What do they mean? Well, actually, things like, especially metal, when you're breaking them down, if you aim for the circle as it moves, these things break down a lot quicker. And after this latest patch, I think if you consistently hit that bullseye, you get a little extra bonus when it comes to the amount of resources you get from each box. When it comes to falling great distances, not all hills are created equal. If you have to make this jump, stick to the ledge as much as possible. Try to slide down, and sometimes you can actually make it all the way to Great Falls with no damage whatsoever. sometimes you die. Building structures in Fortnite, it isn't as forefront as you might think. Don't limit your thinking to only building structures to defend against the end of the world. Sometimes all you need is a simple wall or two to provide simple cover or concealment to give you enough time to safely pick up a teammate or pick up that precious loot. Honestly, I was surprised. I figured building a big fortress would be the way to go, but actually, you don't want to waste a lot of time building a fortress if the circle is just going to put you out of bounds and kill you. And once you know where the final circle actually is, and it appears, you only have 60 seconds to kill your opponents or the game will end on its own. As a general rule of thumb, remember, building always makes it easy to spot and gives away your location. So initially only build when you need concealment for an incoming enemy fire to either pick up loot or revive a teammate, or if you have a height advantage. But wait until the end before you decide to build these massive superstructures. But alas, that's the wonderful thing about Fortnite. The ability to build structures on the fly in the battlefield is a new element to this Battle Royale type game mode, and there's no telling to the new strategies that players will come up with in the future. For example, one of my friends named Sets with Ninja Nation Gaming had a great tactic. Instead of building a fort, he needed quick concealment. Not just concealment, but he needed cover and concealment. And he used this method to distract his enemy to give him enough time to plan the attack and win the game. This was a great tactic. It's a great distraction method that confused the enemy, which, by the way, he was outnumbered 3-1. Remember, you always want to kill the enemy when it best suits you and on your terms, if at all possible. This is not Call of Duty. Playing with my friend, I've also had a match where we won the game because we built a fort so big in the final circle that no one else could enter. There's a link in the description below if you want to watch the impenetrable ninja fortress video. There are a few other neat tricks I could teach you in this game, but I want your feedback from you. If this was helpful to you, or if you already knew this and you want something more advanced, please let me know in the comments below. For example, if you actually get rid of your weapon and pull back out your pickaxe, you can run through a horde of all this loot and only pick up ammunition. If you've got weapons you don't want to get rid of, that's a quick way to do it on the fly. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'd love for you to subscribe. Please drop a like, leave a comment. I could not thank you enough if you would do that for me. Thank you.